Hello everyone, odedex here, welcome to episode 128 of Let's Let's Play. So as you can see from the previous episode I've completed the farm. It looks like this. So if you look closely you'll see that every track has exactly one block to the right and to the left, which is empty grassland, which will be tilled and farmed. And the shape goes like in this snake looking thing, and the last part simply loops back into here and comes here. So actually you can see I took one rail out because this is probably when I'm gonna change it to work together with the Steve's carts mechanics. But for now, before I handle that, I can actually let the system let it start running and see how it works. So I'm gonna need just one track. You can just dump the rest in here and complete the circuit and let it start running. So we can see how it looks. I don't think there is actually a way for me to control in which direction it works, but as far as I'm concerned it makes no difference. Okay, let's give it some seeds and let's give it some bone meal and it will start doing its job. Now of course, if you missed the previous episode, I'm making basically a farm using Steve's carts, farmer carts. And you can see this entire grassland area is where I plan my farm to be, and underneath every luminous block, every lamp, there is actually a water source block. So this is how it keeps hydrated. I wanted to use the hydrator module of the cart itself, but I also want to use the solar engine, and you cannot do both. They kind of have a problem with each other, so that's that. Alright, so let's start taking care of how the cart will unload and reload on its internal inventory. And the way it works is basically Steve's Carts gives you the tool to do that. It composes of two different blocks. The first one, well actually three. The first one is the cargo manager, and the second one is the detector track, or whatever it's called. How is it called? Detector rail, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. The advanced detector rail, I think. Pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so let's craft that. That's of course something from Steve's cart. So this is why the recipe resembles very much a vanilla track crafting recipe, not a railcraft track recipe. So it doesn't require a rolling machine and something like that, because it's simply a vanilla recipe, kind of. So let's do that. So I'm gonna need some redstone, some iron. Just gonna make one of those. You don't need more than one. At least for what I need, I don't need more than one. And I don't really have a choice but to make two anyway. So let's make two. And while I'm here, let's also make the cargo manager and that other cargo management block thingy, cargo distributor. So for the cargo manager, I'm gonna need some large iron panes, huge iron panes, and a large dynamic pane. For each one of those, I'm going to need an iron pane, more iron pane, and iron pane with redstone. So a lot of iron panes. Okay, so let's create a stack of those. So chest panes. Okay, so I'm going to need to create this recipe twice. Some redstone and some iron. So let's get some of each. And my game lately took a tremendous FPS hit. I don't know guys if you see it on YouTube, but it's crazy. I don't know why. I did have a problem with my client and I was forced to reset it. So probably there was some configuration thing that I simply forgot to set up again, but it's really annoying. The game runs on 20 FPS and that's close to unplayable. I'm going to try and figure out how to fix this. It's kind of really annoying. Okay, so let's have two of those, and let's create those panes. So now I'm going to need 4 large iron panes. Okay, I'm going to need 4 huge iron panes, and I'm going to need 4 dynamic panes, which then are combined to large dynamic pane, which then creates the cargo manager. So that's the first block. Second block, the cargo distributor is kind of an essential part of the cargo manager. I'm not exactly sure how you can interface with the cargo manager without it, or why would you want to do it without it? So, because I'm not really sure, but this is basically how you automate to and from the cargo manager. So let's get this one made as well. So I'm gonna need 4 PCBs, 4 stone, and some redstone. So for a PCB, let's take this 3 out, let's take this one out and create 3 more. And I'm gonna need some stone. Okay, and just craft it. There we go. Alright, I wanna try and figure out what's the problem with my FPS. This is kind of unplayable, so I'll be right back. Okay, so played around a little bit with the Optifine options, just assumingly just get a little bit more FPS. We'll see how that turns out to be. Okay, so I've got my cargo manager, my cargo distributor, and the advanced detector rail, and that's pretty much it. Now, in order to connect it with the rest of my system, this is something I'm gonna take care of later, but for the time being I'm just gonna handle setting up the way it will unload everything and load stuff as well. And again, this is something I'm doing kind of for the first time, so I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work. Obviously, since it doesn't have enough seeds, it kind of, it tills most of the land at the moment, but it will simply not plant anything because it doesn't have anything. And this is a problem that I noticed basically, because I'm taking corners on those small lamps here. This is kind of inevitable. There is nothing I can do about this, but it's not too bad, I think. Okay, let's actually get over the night before beginning, and we can get started. Okay, so I'm gonna place, as I've intended, I'm gonna place my detector track right here. And I'm gonna connect it to the cargo manager right here, which then has this nifty interface, which again I've never actually dealt with before. And I think on top of it I'm gonna have to use this in order to interface it with any sort of automation, notably basically applied logistics. This is the one I'm interested in. But this is okay. Let's just clean up the area so I have some room to stand in. Okay, seems good enough. Probably gonna need to break this at some point as well. Okay, so basically every time my cart will complete a circuit, it's gonna go all over this place, doing everything here. Hopefully not filling up the entire inventory. If it's gonna fill up the entire inventory before hitting here, it's gonna have a problem. But when it reaches that point, I'm gonna need to do a couple of things. There are a couple of things I'm going to be unloading, and a couple of things I'm going to be loading onto the cart. So unloading, I'm going to take care of seeds and wheat. So all the seeds come out and all the wheat comes out. And whatever needs to be loaded is coal and fertilizer. Coal for in case I'm using the coal engine. If it's during the nights, I'm going to need to supply it with coal. And bone meal to keep the fertilizer filled up with fertilizer, of course. So either bones or bone meal. I think you can use both. Actually, I'm going to try and use bones instead of bone meal to skip the, skip it from crafting what unnecessary. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how this exactly works. And you know what, I think for the sake of testing, I'm gonna do something here and actually close a circuit so I can test it faster. Yeah, let's actually do that. Let's actually cheat the system quickly so I can test how it works. So let's break this, let's break this, and this. Okay, and let's bring the cart over here. I'm doing this in order for the sake of testing how the cargo manager will work because I'm not exactly familiar with it. Okay, so drop it in here. It will go through the other way around. Again, set up the engine on the medium priority and solar engine on higher priority. So if it has solar power, it uses solar power instead. Okay, so it's gonna start doing its thing right now. And whenever it comes into here, let's see. I want to output I'm not sure what it just did. Okay, I'm interfacing with the yellow color, by the way, so anything else is kind of irrelevant. But I can... Okay, so let's do yellow. Okay, so on the yellow, everything needs to be yellow. How do I change the color? Okay, let's change the color to yellow. Everything needs to be yellow. There is nothing else that makes sense here. Okay, so it tries to output everything, although it doesn't actually do anything. Okay, so from the yellow slot, I want to, from the cargo manager, currently it's to the cart. Okay, let's do this. So from the cart, I want to send in seeds and wheat. I think wheat is simply, what was this? Saplings, no. I guess I'm just gonna go, yeah, for storage slots. So storage slots and seeds go in here. Or actually no, I want to go only for storage slots because I think seeds will automatically go into the farmer, and I don't want the farmer slot to send in stuff. I want only the inventory. So I'm kind of guessing here on exactly how it works. Let's just simply change the color so it doesn't interface with it. Okay, so all the cargo will be sent into here, and we can actually check that. Let's actually get some bone meal in here so I can do some testing. Okay, let's get a stack of bone meal. Or 20 will be good enough. Okay, so let's test that. So if I make one of those things grow, it's gonna farm it, it's gonna reseed it, and it's going to, it should, there we go, output the wheat. Now, it didn't output the seeds because first it didn't have seeds, but basically because the seeds are on the internal, on the farmer inventory slot and not on the chest slot. I'm really hoping that once the farmer slot is full, it will go into the chest. This is what I'm planning on. Okay, so seems to be working so far. Now, from the cargo manager into the cart, what I want to do is coal. I want to send in coal. I think it's named as engine. Yeah, I guess engine. And bone meal. Or fertilizer. Whatever it's... where was it? There we go. Fertilizer and engine. And I want... I don't know what difference does this make. Okay, no idea. I think that's fine. It might not be fine actually. I might need to place this on the corner right here. I'm not sure. Okay, let's get some. If I place some fertilizer here. Let's place some fertilizer here and here. Let's keep some though. Okay, there we go. It sends. Okay, so all available fertilizer go inside. And all the wheat goes in here. Let's keep fertilizing this stuff here so it grows faster. Just want to check out how it works with coal, and pretty much I'm set. Let's get some coal. Again, remember, the coal is just kind of a backdoor solution in case it's during nighttime, because during nighttime, of course, there is no solar energy, and if there is no solar energy, obviously I cannot run on solar energy. So let's place some coal here. I want to see how exactly does it feed into it. Okay, yeah, okay, no problem. So engine means coal. And okay, so it has its fuel capacity filled up. A lot of spare coal in here. And that's pretty much it, I think. Let's actually now connect it to a plant logistics. So using the top block, let's get some pipes and tubes and stuff. Let's think about it for a second. So I want to extract seeds and wheat out, and I want to place inside coal and fertilizer, but the problem is I want to keep it to at a limited amount. So I think I'm actually going to use, I'm going to use some ME interfaces, and I'm going to use a red power regulator. There is no other way I'm thinking about it, because an export bus will simply keep pushing items into it, and it will simply fill up the inventory, and this is bad for me. So let's get okay, I'm going to need a regulator for this. Not a retriever, a regulator. I'm going to need two pistons, two filters actually. Do I have filters integrated? Not yet, I think. Nope. Oh, I have some filters here though. Okay, so two filters, two regulators, a regulator, an ME interface, and an import bus. I think that's pretty much it. And I'm going to a lot of cables. Okay, let me get what I need, hopefully. Okay, so I got a bunch of things. Now, just to pretty much explain to you guys what I meant, you can see that if I place a redstone tube, a tube right here... Wait, what? It connects. So I guess from what I've read, I was... either I misunderstood it, or I don't know. Or maybe that's simply kind of more advanced than what I need, I don't know. Okay, so the cargo distributor oh, I see. Okay, so this is kind of more of a smart interface option. Okay, okay, I see how it works. Okay, so let's see. I want my regulator to be regulating from here. I want to have a stack of bones and a stack of coal at all times. So let's get a bunch of coal, and let's get a bunch of bones. I'm gonna use bones directly, not bone meal. I think it's unnecessary to use bone meal, so it's simply a waste of time in my opinion. So that regulator, wait, first actually it connected to the blue face. So, okay. So the blue face, okay, we're gonna just have to remember this is a blue face. It's gonna be regulating coal and bone meal into that inventory. And I really hope it's gonna work. The blue side of the cargo distributor will go into the cart. I think it doesn't actually matter on which side because they're all sharing the same inventory. But let's say it's gonna go into the bottom right, so it's kind of looks organized, and it's go to all colors. It makes no difference what color it goes to. Let's actually see it in action. So if I drop some coal in here, it goes into here. Well, the direction doesn't make any sense, but if I drop a stack, okay, I'm going to need a lot more coal and a lot more bones on me. So let's get 3 more stacks, and also 3 more stacks. Okay, so again, this is gonna keep a stack of up to stack of coal and up to stack of bones, and I'm doing this not to fill up this entire inventory. So again, if I drop some coal in here, it's gonna stop pushing it into it, and up until the point where the cargo takes it. Actually, when it takes it, it's gonna push again some more coal. But then again, it's going to stop at 1 stack, so it's going to do the same for bones. It will be able to hold, say, let's take one of it out of here. So it will be able to hold up to a stack of coal and up to a stack of bones. You can also, a good example right now, we'll be able to see that bones also actually act as fertilizer. You don't have to make it into bone meal. Maybe making it into bone meal is more efficient, but I don't mind. Okay, so let's see actually how much did 3 stacks give it. Up to, okay, so it has a very nice amount of bone meal at the moment. And from the, okay, so this is the input. Let's actually connect it to the rest of everything. So let's have this connected. Thinking on how to do this kind of logically. Probably going to need. Okay, let's go for something that will roughly look like this. So I'm gonna have one. I mean, I don't. Okay, let's just use. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna use two interfaces. It will be simpler, more simple to do in my opinion. Okay, so let's have this filter coming from this direction. So this was the temporary placeholder filter. And this filter coming from here, I'm gonna need to rotate this one because it's kind of in the wrong way at the moment. So it looks like this. I'm gonna need again even some more bones and some more coal. And I'm going to do one more ME interface because I just decided to do it like this. Let's have some more coal and some more bones. And one more ME interface. Let's craft 10 and just take one. Okay. So each one of them will be connected like this. So this one will be connected here, this one will be connected here. This export config will be for coal. And it's gonna be only having one at a time. And this export config will be for bones. And again, only one at a time. I can actually change those into transposers, but it makes no difference at the moment, so let's not. And let's set up the dirt here that will hold this timer, which will run every 2 seconds. Now, I'm doing this specifically like this because every 2 seconds, it's going to try and push the item. Now, because it's only having one tube available of distance, there will never be any bounce back, and there shouldn't be any problems in terms of bouncing back into the wrong filter. I really hope that it's the case, but we'll see how that turns out to be. Overall, this should be working fine. But that's on input. Now let's actually also extract. So I can also interface very nicely. I can also interface very nicely, for example, with the red slot, saying that the red side will be from the cart, from every point in the cart. Again, I think that makes no difference basically, but I don't care. This will be basically exporting it from. And this will be the import bus. So the import bus will be always active. It will be stack at a time and will be obviously connected to this interface. And also this will also be connected here. And the last step will be simply connecting it to the rest of my system, which is relatively far away. So this is why I made so many cables. And this is also will be a good time to decide how to do this. I think I'm going to go for a system above ground on purpose to be able to see it. Or I can just use the underground system right here. I think I'm going to go for a system above ground. So let's connect this. Actually, this. Can replace this grass block. Yeah, I'm gonna have it above ground on purpose so I can actually see it. Or not. Okay, now let's have it underground. Okay, so I decided to go for above ground after all, so it's gonna be above ground here, here, and here. Just right here it's gonna be kind of below the ground, so it's not that crazy looking. And just connecting the last part here, and you should already see everything starts to work. So yeah, you can see that those interfaces are now supplying bone meal and coal into those filters, which are then placing it into the regulator, which is then regulating it back into this inventory. And you can see that the import bus, oh wait, actually the import bus needs to be filtered out to only take out seeds and wheat, because it also takes out bones and coal, so that's kind of bad. Wheat, let's take out wheat. Okay, I can also change that like within the cargo manager, change the way the inventory works, but this is just simpler in my opinion. Like, this is kind of no hassle whatsoever to do. Okay, so I can also dump this in here. Actually, let's use the bone meal to speed up the process a little bit. And let's actually restore balance here. So let's take the tracks and change them. So first break this and connect it here and here, and break this and connect it here and here, and lastly connect this one here. Okay, so it's back on track. It's on the other direction right now, but it really makes no difference whatsoever. And it should produce some seeds for me, seeds and wheat. Okay, so this is pretty much the project completed. Let me skim over everything in case you've missed it. So again, this is using Steve cards, using the farmer module of Steve's cards, creating this giant farm that will be only dedicated to wheat on purpose, because I'm kind of in the trouble with the seed oil production, and using wheat is just easy. I maybe could have used melons or pumpkins, but this is simply easier. And the way I'm doing this is using the cargo manager. I'm basically telling him that everything from the inventory, which means all the excess seeds which do not fit into the farmer module, meaning the farmer module is full, or the wheat, will be placed here. And always take coal and fertilizer into the cart itself. And those coal and fertilizer are coming from my storage system, where seeds and wheat goes back into it. And this is pretty much how I sustain myself. And the only thing I could do right now is simply speed things up a little bit by just placing a lot of bone meal right here. So it kind of will get a lot more seeds faster, and I'm seeing right now that I'm starting to have problems with storage. Should take care of it. Okay, I'm going to need some more bone meal though. So let's have some more bone meal. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm not simply placing the bone meal into the cart. The fertilizer module of the cart works in a way that it doesn't work like manually placing down bone meal. It kind of simply speeds up the growing process. It doesn't instantly grow, so it works a little bit differently. So let's apply bone meal. I have a ton of bone meal, so I really don't mind doing that. And the next time the cart comes around, it will have a lot of things to harvest and then regrow. And of course, since I don't have too much seed right now, it's gonna require some time to actually start up, and before everything is stilled and growing all the time. But overall, it should be at full capacity eventually. Hopefully not after too long. And doing some little trickery here. I had one spare seed, so I'm kind of letting it regrow and apply bone meal every time it grows up. So kind of little trickery to increase the seed supply here. Make it a little bit faster. Help it recharge, but then again it keeps standing here, so eventually it won't really work in the long term. The thing that worries me a little bit is the potential internal cargo not being enough for a whole turn. Like, if it goes through the entire trip, will the internal cargo will be enough to hold all that wheat? And this is something I don't really know, but until further testing I will simply not know. And you can see because the solar engine is on the higher priority, you can see the way the numbers work here. Now it's about to come down, I think. You can see that the power of the solar engine is always used first, but when it's missing anything, it goes to the coal power, so it's kind of very useful. And this is pretty much the reason why I did this. And also, you can see right now that the night is coming down, and you'll see that actually the solar value is coming down as well, slowly. It will generate less and less power, but I want this to keep running, so this is why I also placed this coal engine to let it continue running even during the night. Okay, so off screen, a couple of episodes ago actually, I did, if you remember correctly, I applied the maximum fertility serum to most of my drones and VSBs, and actually placed them in those three alvearies apiaries, and you can see, okay, this one turned into Stark for some reason. This one did exactly what I'd expected it to. It created 4 drones while still staying vis, and this one created an aware princess for some reason. But now I can very easily extract the vis genome which I was looking for. Actually, did I get it or not? I don't even recall if I managed to get it or not. I think I didn't. Yeah, I still have the Stark as my most advanced genome, so let's get the vis drone genome. And this is the reason why I applied this fertility stuff, to make the extracting genome process a lot faster. When you have so many drones, it's a lot easier to do it. Okay, I have this normal fertility, which is not very interesting once I get the maximum fertility, but let's just keep it. Okay, temperature tolerance, not that important. And now I'm pretty much looking forward to mutating a vis bee into a pure bee, which is pretty much the most advanced bee I think you can have from Thumbcraft, which hopefully will help me. Okay, there we go, my vis species done. So I can start actually breeding them and mutating them. So we're gonna have to wait until charging up, but I can try and place it in here. So this is my vis thingy area. Let's place those 2 vis bees here. And I have the mutator block with nether stars here. So we'll see, it probably will take some time, but there should be a pure node right about here somewhere. So hopefully it will mutate eventually into a pure queen, which is something that I was working towards in the previous episodes and kind of got delayed because I started building my farm. Did it complete the circuit yet? Yeah, it's actually right here. Okay, you can see very nicely again, everything being outputted, it's getting refilled with coal. Interfacing with it is kind of annoying. It's getting refilled with coal. It still has seeds, because seeds are still in the internal farmer, and this is the way I want to keep it. I wanted to keep having seeds for farming as a higher priority, and only once those seeds have no more room and they are collected into the actual excess inventory, only then output them back into my Planet Energy 6 network. So yeah, this project is completed, and I'm probably, hopefully, gonna have a nice amount of seed production and also wheat production, although I don't really need it, but most importantly, seeds production. Alright, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.